I'm Lorly from Customer Success Team at Consultor Inc. Group. Last week, we discussed the hair restraint policy under 21 CFR 117 Subpart B Current Good Manufacturing Practices, Section 117.10 under Personal. This week, we'll continue our discussion under the same section, focusing on the jewelry and personal effects requirements. This requirement is critical because jewelry and personal items can easily become physical contaminants or harbor microorganisms that compromise food safety. Understanding and implementing this policy helps prevent contamination risk, strengthen your facilities, good manufacturing practices, and ensures consistent compliance with FDA expectations. By applying these requirements, your organization not only protects product integrity, but also promotes a culture of food safety awareness and accountability among all employees. By the way, this free training is sponsored by Consorte Inc. Group, a compliance company. Founded in 2007, and we began by assisting businesses with U.S. import and export compliance and have since evolved into a global provider of food safety, quality, and certification support. Today, our services revolve around compliance management software, specialized training, and end to end support services that help organizations achieve and maintain compliance with international standards. Through our platform, interlinkiq.com, we offer an integrated compliance management system that streamlines documentation, monitoring, and audit readiness. We also provide dedicated compliance and certification support programs for FSBP, PCQI, SQF, BRCGS, FSSC 22000, QMS or ISO 9001, GMP, and HACCP, helping businesses strengthen their regulatory compliance, enhance operational efficiency, and ensure alignment with global food safety and quality management standards. Let's review our schedule. This week we'll focus on the requirements outlined in CGMP section 117.10, and our discussion will center on the jewelry and personal effects. Gaining a clear understanding of this requirement is essential to achieving and sustaining your compliance with FDA's current good manufacturing practices. In today's session, we will begin by familiarizing ourselves with the jewelry and personal effect requirements. We'll start with clear description of the requirements, followed by a walkthrough of the compliance action activities, which are scheduled tasks carried out on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and semi-annual basis to ensure ongoing certification readiness. We'll also discuss the annual review and internal audit activities, which help verify program effectiveness and drive continuous improvement. You are encouraged to ask questions in the chat box, which we'll address in next week's session. Participants may also request a free 90-day trial of our CGMP compliance management software to help manage compliance tasks, assign accountability, and stay audit ready. Finally, all participants will receive a familiarization training certificate. Please ensure you've completed the free certification familiarization training sign-up form shared in the chat box. On the screen, you will see the sample of the familiarization certificate you'll receive upon completing each session. With that, let's move forward to our training session, which will be working directly with the CGMP compliance management software. So let's start by going over the description of the jewelry and personal effects. Please take a look at the description on the screen. So the requirements are outlined here to make implementation easier, and it says jewelry control, remove unsecured jewelry or accessories before entering foods handling or production areas. Items that cannot be removed, such as medical alerts ban or religious items must be properly covered to prevent contamination. This policy helps maintain product integrity and reduce of the risk of physical or microbial contamination. Now you may edit or update the description as needed to reflect revision when new version or edition are released. To implement the program stated in the description tab, we've developed a list of action items located at the compliance tab. So this feature helps the QA manager or supervisor stay organized by scheduling tasks based on their required frequency, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually. Here are some example of your compliance action items to simplify with the jewelry and personal effect requirements. For your daily action item, this may include verify all employees have removed unsecured jewelry before entering production areas. Supervisor conduct visual check at the gowning or hygiene station before personal entry. Ensure medical or religious jewelry is properly covered. Confirm jewelry restriction signage is clearly visible in changing and in entry areas. Inspect that all visitors and contractors comply with jewelry control requirements before entry. Document any violation or observe jewelry contamination risk and implement corrective action immediately. Conduct quick shift start reminders or toolbox talks, emphasizing jewelry hygiene inspection. For the weekly action item, you must include jewelry compliance in weekly GMP or hygiene audit checklist, verify that sufficient covering materials are available for those with non-removable jewelry. Assess any recorded jewelry-related nonconformities and ensure corrective action are closed. Collect feedback from operators on jewelry control challenges to identify areas of improvement. For the quarterly action item, conduct refresher training on jewelry and personal effect policy for all employees and contractors. Review internal GMP audit results for jewelry policy compliance. Investigate any recurring jewelry related issues to determine underlying causes and preventive action. And for your biannual action item, present jewelry control compliance, metrics, and trends during biannual food safety management reviews. Evaluate the effectiveness of previously implemented corrective action for jewelry related non-compliance. Inspect signage visibility, gowning layout, and accessibility of jewelry removal areas, and update the jewelry and personal effect policy if operational, cultural, or regulatory changes occur. So these action items are aligned with industry best practices, and you may either add your own compliance activities or have our team preload the required tasks to help ensure full compliance with the requirements under this section. To complete these actions, we provided work instruction and detailed compliance activities in the instruction section, along with the required artifacts or records to document completion. So these instructions serve as your guide on how to complete each action item. So for example, let's focus on one specific action item. So the requirements that state supervisor conduct visual check at the gowning or hygiene station before personal entry. So let's check the work instruction. So here are the steps that you need to perform. So step one is to perform pre-entry visual inspection. For the activity, supervisor visually inspect employees at the gowning or hygiene station before they enter production or food handling areas, verify removal of unsecured jewelry, watches, and accessories, confirm compliance with hair restraint, gloves, and proper gowning procedure. For the records, pre-entry hygiene inspection checklist, supervisor verification log, daily personnel entry audit form. Step 2 is to monitor during shift start and re-enter. For the activity, conduct visual check at the beginning of each shift, after breaks, or upon re-enter to ensure continuous compliance. Document any observed nonconformances for immediate correction. For the artifacts, shift change hygiene checklist, noncompliance observation record, corrective action log. Step 3 is to enforce immediate corrective action. For the activity, if violation are detected, instruct immediate removal before allowing enter. Apply retraining or disciplinary measure if non-compliance is repeated. For the record, corrective action report, CAPA record, supervisor follow-up verification. Step 4 is to verify effectiveness of entry compliance check. For the activity, QA or compliance staff periodically audit supervisor inspection to ensure check are consistently performed and documented. Use findings to improve training or revise procedures. For the records, GMP audit report, internal audit checklist, and management review summary. Step 5 is to maintain documentation for audit readiness. For the activity, keep completed inspection and verification log accessible for internal, customer, or regulatory audit. Review records weekly to ensure completeness and accuracy. And for the artifacts, hygiene station inspection binder, verification record archive, and weekly record review checklist. So to comply this requirement, you need to upload evidence of compliance. And in this case, we've uploaded gowning or hygiene station visual check record. So this record shows that supervisor are actively conducting visual inspection at the gowning or hygiene station before employees enter food handling areas. It documents that supervisor verify compliance with required hygiene standards, including proper gowning, removal of jewelry, and correct use of hair restraint at different times and entry points throughout the facility. The record also shows and reflects that any noncompliance observed is immediately corrected, such as reminding employees to remove personal items or providing missing protective gear. And overall, the documentation demonstrate consistent supervisory oversight, timely corrective action, and adherence to GMP requirements under 21 CFR 117.10, helping ensure product safety and regulatory compliance. When you perform the activities and completed the supporting records, your compliance status will update from no to yes once approved by the reviewer or the approver. Your goal is to perform all compliance activities according to their scheduled frequency to ensure that your facility, processes, and documentation remain fully audit ready. Once again, these are simply example of compliance best practices that you can adopt in your facility. You may also customize your or develop your own action items tailored to your specific processes. Now let's go over to the annual review tab, which also serve as your gap assessment tool. So this tab is designed as an internal audit checklist in the form of questionnaire, aligned with the 21 CFR 117 requirement. It lists all required annual review items to help you maintain compliance with the certification requirements. Here you'll find all the annual review items that should be reviewed to maintain compliance. Here are some of the example. Is there a documented jewelry and personal effect policy in place? Does the policy clearly define which jewelry items are prohibited in food handling and production areas? Does the policy include guidance for handling non-removal items? Is the current version of the jewelry and personal effect policy approved and signed by authorized management? Has the policy been communicated to all employees, visitors, and contractors? Are all employees trained on the jewelry and personal effects policy during onboarding? Are periodic refresher training conducted? Is training attendance documented and available for verification? Do supervisor reinforce jewelry control, reminders during shift meetings or toolbox talks? Are visual aids or signage posted in gowning and hygiene areas to remind staff of jewelry restrictions? The supervisor perform daily visual check to ensure no prohibited jewelry is worn before entering production areas? Are visitors and contractors inspected for jewelry compliance before entry? Are any non-removable jewelry items properly covered to prevent contamination? Are jewelry violation or non-conformances immediately reported and recorded? Are corrective action taken promptly when jewelry non-compliance is identified? Is jewelry control included in daily pre-entry hygiene inspections? Is compliance verified during weekly GMP or hygiene audits? Are audit findings documented and reviewed by quality or food safety team? Are recurring issues tracked and analyzed for root causes? Are sufficient materials available for covering approved jewelry? So just like the compliance tab, you can add work instruction or compliance activities to comply with the requirements and specify the artifacts or forms that will serve as evidence of compliance. For example, to complete the audit checklist, let have this example. Has the policy been communicated to all employees, visitors, and contractors? So let's check the work instruction as part of your verification. So to complete the annual review item, you need to step one is to identify communication recipients. For the activity, determine all personnel, visitors, and contractors who require awareness of the jewelry and personal effect policy before entering production or food handling areas. For the record, personnel and contractor roster, visitor log. Step two is to communicate policy to employees. For the activity, share the policy through onboarding training, refresher courses, daily briefings, or email communication. Ensure employees understand the importance of jewelry removal and proper storage of personal effects. For the artifacts, training attendance sheets, training materials, employee acknowledgement form. Step three is to communicate policy to visitors and contractors. For the activity, provide clear instructions regarding jewelry and personal effect prior to facility access, post signage at entry points, and provide verbal or written instruction as part of visitor orientation. For the records, visitor acknowledgement forms, contractor induction records, entry signage photos. Step 4 is to reinforce policy periodically. For the activity, include reminders in pre-shift meetings, safety briefings, and periodic refresher training, and address non-compliance immediately with coaching or corrective action. For the artifacts, meeting attendance logs, observation and compliance checklist, corrective action record. Step 5 is to verify effectiveness of policy communication. For the activity, conduct audits or observation to confirm all employees, visitors, and contractors are aware of and following policy. Document any gaps and implement follow-up actions. And for the records, communication effectiveness, audit reports, observation logs, and management review notes. And step six is to review and update communication methods. For the activity, periodically review how the policy is communicated to ensure all personnel receive and understand the requirements, update materials or method based on feedback or regulatory changes. For the records, updated SOPs or communication plans, revision logs, and management approval records. Now, to provide evidence of compliance for this annual review item, you may upload the monthly jewelry and personal effect policy communication record. So these record demonstrate that the jewelry and personal effect policy has been effectively communicated to all employees, visitors, and contractors. In November 2025, employees were informed through email, notification, team meetings, and posted notices with all acknowledgements recorded electronically. Visitors receive the policy during orientation and via entry signage. And contractors sign the sorry, were briefed through email and onboarding session and also signed a form confirming their understanding. So the record provides documented evidence of compliance showing that all relevant parties have been made aware of their responsibilities regarding jewelry and personal effect in the workplace. So this is just an sample record that you can provide as proof of compliance, and your goal is to complete all these annual review items to keep your site fully prepared for both internal and external audits in compliance to 21 CFR 117. Finishing this checklist confirms your compliance and ensure you're audit ready at all times.